But I woke up drunk. Fucking, I didn't drink that much though. Like I think I went to Wendy's after that, and I ate like one of them hot honey fucking sandwiches. My first time having it.
It's a chicken sandwich?
Yeah, it had like rice on it. I wasn't even really fucking with it like that, but I'm thinking if that might have had something to do with it, I ate like some different shit. But yeah, because I didn't get like, I wasn't like blackout drunk or anything, but you know, so I had a few drinks.
No, this week I low-key been blacked out, drunk a lot. Out of nowhere, yeah. I haven't been I've been just going out randomly, just like, I've been in the house all day. Let me just head out, and then I'll end up like the My Dream things, like just meet up a few homies. You want a shot? Last night was kind of like the same thing, and I end up super, super drunk, way more than I expected to ever be.
What days did you go to the Mighty Dream?
I think just the middle day. And then
I think it was 3 days, right?
Yeah. So the night that who was it? Was it Cajun? Not a Cajun. Thundercat performed at the Norva. That was the night I went.
Yeah. Oh, you went to actual Norva too? Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now you had me a week when I fucking, because last night I had hit you. I was like, I'm on the way or whatever. You going? And then while I'm there, y'all get a message from you. It's like, I'm here having fun. I'm like, what? That was just like that. That just had me weak. I was like,
yeah, I was probably drunk.
Oh, this boy funny, yo.
Yeah.
Nah, the Mighty Dream shit was cool. Like, we was all just like posted on the block right there, like out front of the assembly. I fuck with it, man.
You know, it was nice seeing like the city be alive again, and not just like in one specific spot or place. Like seeing the whole like block. Like, I walked from my house all the way to Waterside before actually going to Mighty Dream, and seeing like the whole Norfolk just being lit and active was real nice and beautiful.
So you live in Norfolk. Matter of fact, you don't even live with Pump and Coat anymore, right?
No. I moved out like 4 or 5 months ago, maybe. Yeah, it's just Coat and them now. They have the kid now.
So Coat and his girl just say that. Oh, so Pump
Happy
moved out
family.
too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Do you notice? Because I've actually, first of all, I went down your Instagram and I noticed you used to have blonde hair. I never seen that. I was like, it just threw me off. I was like, well, I didn't know bro had blonde hair. But you've been creating out here for a minute. Like I like to ask people like who've been doing it for a while. Do you notice any differences in the scene, or is it just kind of like we just still going, or do you notice actually like some stuff that's actually like evolving or getting better? Like,
no, I definitely see a big change. It still feels the same, and I think kind of operates the same sort of, but it's definitely a lot more closer and tight knit. It definitely feels like a family more than what it felt like. I started like really designing and putting myself out there like 8 years ago. And during that time, I would be afraid to talk to anyone. It's just like no one was welcoming, or just the energy, maybe just me being young and just like what I was feeling and projecting, feeling and stuff like that. But now it's like everyone's just kind of really nice and down to work. Is just, I think that's been the biggest change. But other than that, it's like the same thing. It's still just like home, you know.
When you first started, what were you doing? Were you doing it by yourself?
Yeah, designing. So I started making clothes in high school with a few of my homies, but you know, once niggas graduate, we all like split and went our separate ways. So I just started doing freelance design work. So I was like, I got to figure out if I love this shit or not.
Oh, like designing for other brands.
So I just hit up a lot of people, started designing mostly for All Might. And then through them, that's how I met a lot of people and got kind of put onto the scene and really got familiar with everything.
Yeah. So you born and raised in Norfolk?
No. Born in New York, and I moved when I was like 7 or 8. And I've been in Virginia Beach for most of my life, and I moved out to Norfolk like 2 years ago.
You said New York. Where in New York?
Queens, in the Bronx.
Where? Oh, yeah. Actually, our last guest, I was up here last week or the other day. He was from the Bronx.
For real?
Yeah. I stayed in Queens for a weekend. I was telling him about it. Yeah.
For when?
With my boy. You said where?
No, when?
When I think it was actually 2018. I said 2019 on our last episode, but it was 2018.
I love it. I'm trying to move back out there.
Off Jamaica Ave, off Hollis.
Okay, yeah. I live pretty close there.
That's fire. So what, you still got family out there?
Yeah, mostly actually no, not only my dad's side, my mom's side. Pretty much my whole family just migrated from the South. So everyone from, on my mom's side moved from Jamaica to New York, and then slowly is coming down to Virginia now.
Oh, so I didn't even know you're Jamaican.
Half Jamaican, half Puerto Rican.
So were your parents like first generation, I guess, immigrants? Like your parents came over here?
Nah, their grandparents. Their parents were. And then my parents were all born in the States.
Yeah.
Is that first generation? If you're born here or you move here?
I want to say you're second generation. First generation is it born? Really? I thought first generation was like the first ones that come over here. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah.
But yeah, so my grandparents on both sides moved over here, and my parents were born in New York.
That's fire.
And they met in college.
You been back or like you been in Jamaica?
Yeah. So not Jamaica. I've been to Puerto Rico. But yeah, I still gotta make it out there to Jamaica. I got a lot of family I actually know in Jamaica versus my Puerto Rican side. I literally only know my dad. And
Do you speak
cousins.
Spanish?
Hell no.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm a fake Hispanic.
Damn, bro. Damn. So I think the first time I met you was at Slow Dive. You know what I'm saying? Which is actually crazy to me. That was actually my first ever like time that happened to me.
For real?
Like as far as like the DJ playing my song, like, cause me and Sydney had just dropped a song at the time, Language. So we go to fucking Slow Dive. I think that's actually my first time there too. I didn't know Zay at the time. I fucking walk in. I'm telling Sydney, or I'm telling whoever I'm with, I'm like, yo, I'm at whoever's DJing, I'm about to ask them to play this song. So it turns out like you knew, like you saying you knew me. You came up to me like when I walked in the room. You came up to me, dapped me up. You was like, I appreciate what you're doing and shit. I'm like, bro, I got this song I'm trying to play. He ended up playing it, and that shit was just fire. Like, I don't know, like, you like, so you just like staying in touch with like, or actually, so Indigo Moon, that's your brand, right?
Just Indigo.
Indigo. So what was the moon
That was
part?
the name of the event. That was like the first Disc Freak that we all kind of collaborated on and worked on. So we just named it Indigo Moon. But it was essentially just a Disc Freak.
So how long has Indigo been a thing?
Years.
You started out freelancing. So when did you actually like start your own shit?
So I had my own shit in high school. It was called Highest. Then taking that break and designing for other people. I want to say that's like a year or two of doing that. That's when I met like Maddie, Esteban, Huey. We kind of formed a collective, Indigo. So it's been around maybe like 4 years, but it's kind of just like my entity now. Kind of just took it over. Everyone went their separate ways now.
Sounds like a lot of people that you created with go separate ways.
Yeah.
That's part of the game though. Like for me, it was kind of the opposite. Well, not even the opposite. It was like I started by myself, then kind of had like years later had built kind of like a crew. Then that crew kind of went different ways, but it kind of started like alone for me.
I think the high school homies, they're like great help, great people, but they weren't like naturally in love with this creative shit, and especially like the closing stuff. So it made more sense us like going separate ways. You know, niggas went to college or got jobs and shit like that. I think like with Indigo, it was just us being young and not knowing exactly what we wanted to do and having a lot of ideas and everyone wanting to do something specifically different, even though it's all art, we go help each other. So it wasn't like organized. So it just made sense for us to kind of just like, I'll go find it elsewhere and shit.
Maybe the best things like aren't organized. You know what I mean? Like how organized was Apple when it first started, like in the garage?
I mean, it's probably not organized,
like,
but they have like a clear vision of where they want to go. I think that's what we didn't have a solid vision like cohesively, maybe individually, but also being young and not knowing how to execute that. It was like, okay, well now we gotta like figure that shit out and shit. But yeah, but all great art's probably just spontaneous and just on the whim and shit like that.
How is your vision like? Has your vision became clear over time? Like, what have you learned about kind of execution? Just doing it so far.
Definitely a lot more clear now. I think I actually learned more of the business side, especially like clothing, which is like where I focus and really been focusing over the years. And just knowing like everything it takes, like, is not just making a graphic on a computer and printing on a shirt. It's also knowing your fabrics, learning the different ways to print and get whatever you want on your clothing. And then it's like content creation, marketing, everything. And then the biggest part of business is relationship stuff. So it's like, I think I've gotten a lot better on the business side within the last 2 years because that's what I've really been focusing on. And the vision is kind of still the same. It's more clear because it's like my vision. It's like, we don't have to like, I don't have to compromise. I'm like, oh, let's do this. It was like, well, we all don't want to do that. So I was like, okay, let's wait on that. It's like, nah, like everything that I want to do is going to happen now. And I think that makes it a lot more clear and understandable.
Yeah. So when did DJing come into it?
It came in maybe like a year or two. So Nate was also a part of like the collective, and he would DJ all the time. And so we would like just trip and just smoke, and he would just be bringing his controller and his gear over all the time. So it just always looked fun, and I would like, I don't know how to describe it. You ever had like felt like you listen to music and it sounds so good, or you're just really high sometimes and it feels like your brain or your ears flip? Because it's just like so. It's like a nut, a sonic nut.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, I've felt that a few times. So I was like, damn, like music can really like
I get what you
give you an orgasm,
like an orgasm,
like an orgasm. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I want to give people those feelings. So me and Maddie got a controller. And we just started practicing, and then like within a year, we got like a residency and just been.
Oh, so you and Maddie started together?
Practicing together, but we always had like our separate things. She got the DJ controller first, but it was always at my house, so we would always just practice at my house. And
I always felt like, even when I was coming out, I always felt like I was like music hit me different than my friends. Like people, you know what I'm saying? We all fuck with music, but it was like a certain. I always felt like. Yeah, I had like a deeper connection with it. Like I would just like really fuck with that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's I think it's different levels to even just connecting with like if you make music or if you make art, I think you just have a different understanding of it. It's like if you're a fucking construction worker and you see buildings, you don't just see the building, you see everything that goes into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But somebody who just whatever regular person is like, oh, it's a cool building, like, but they're not thinking about all the
back end stuff,
intricacies. And
I feel that. I feel like also music like kind of like lives within us, especially like that's why I gravitated to it. I was like, I wake up every day, I'm listening to music, I'm creating, I'm listening to music. So I think creating music would just like made the most sense. You know, even though I'm not producing or creating my own, I'm like creating with music. And I think music is probably the easiest in a good way and like the most like infectious art form there is, and inspiring because it's like, what the longest at max a song is like 3 minutes.
Oh, they got long ass songs, but
yeah. But like,
what's that
on
shit?
average,
Is it Runway by Kanye? What's the show you got? It's like 15 minutes or some shit.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'll sit through that though. But it's a lot easier to digest all the way across than a movie.
Oh yeah.
Trying to understand a book, trying to understand a painting sometimes, getting into clothing, all that stuff. Like I just feel like music's so easily digestible, and that's why it's like the most prominent art form.
You know how they say like movies are like slow burners and shit like that? Is there terms like that for music? There's ever like like a slow burner song?
Nah, maybe just low tempo, maybe low BPM or some shit like that.
Or even like in a DJ and like
I guess maybe different genres. Like I feel like maybe like bluegrass or something.
What's your favorite type like of music? What you been listening to kind of?
A lot of like
you asked me if I heard the Drake album.
Okay. I fuck with that. I haven't been listening to music as much because I haven't been DJing as much. And sadly, now those go hand to hand. But I think electronic music. So just anything that has like a lot of synths or guitars or brass. I love brass instruments. But honestly, ever since Drake dropped, what was the album before this?
Honestly, Nevermind?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I've been listening to a lot of Drake.
Yeah. I'm still listening to his old album. Damn, I forgot the one that had Jaded on it. I want to say the intro was called Survival. That shit hard.
Is that Views?
No, nothing. Views was like, I want to say some years ago. This from last year, I think.
Like the portrait of him.
Yeah, the gray, black. It's like black and white. Yeah. Oh, actually, no. So you're the one actually also, while we're on black and white, you do all the black and white photos.
No. That's Tristan. Tristan Longhorn.
He shoots them. Didn't you tell me you edit them?
He shoots and edits them.
Really? Weren't you editing them that one night?
Yeah, just to like make it like a projector visual for them.
Oh, I got you. I don't know why I thought that. Okay, yeah, I thought you edited him. Actually, I met him last night. I was in my first one of his photos.
For real?
They posted on the little collage they posted after Disc Freak. I was in one of those pictures. It's like the worst picture of me. I feel like I'd be looking so ugly. Maybe I'm just ugly, bro. I don't know. I'm starting to come to a realization. I need to work on my photography pose.
You got to find your angle, but it'd be like that because obviously like working with him, I have like all the photos. I have the Dropbox links. And they'll post like the ones where I look the most crusty. I mean, it's just natural. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then like the ones like I look really good here, the ones that are still in that folder.
I feel
just be like that. But he's like, the bro. He's amazing.
I seen the whole folder, bro. He posted it quick too. How is he posting it? I think he posted it from the event.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of photographers now can get their photos sent over to their phones now, and they can just edit on their phone or an app or. Maybe he just goes home and cranks. He's a workaholic. He works really, really hard. Yeah. And really, really hard. Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me if he goes home, edits them, and gets them out within like the hour or has his whole setup with him.
Because I want to say when I seen it last night after Disc Freak, it said 2 hours ago in the post. I'm like, bro, I think he was still there 2 hours ago. I'm like, this boy went to the bathroom real quick, posted the pictures.
Yeah, that sounds like him. Hell yeah.
Bro. So wait, so are you a part of creating This Freak? Are you part of the team?
No, just collabed on a few of them, but that's all Maddie Colt, and now Brandon Whippo and Thomas is the crew.
I fuck with it now. Last night was
Last night was great. It was
really fire,
fun.
bro. It was really like that. I had a great time. Even down to the well, to me, I want to say I think One Pump might have went the craziest.
He's a great performer.
For he, bro, because I've only seen Pump perform twice. You know what I'm saying? And like I chill with him. We did a podcast. You know, I listen to his music and shit. But we did a podcast. I knew him for like a little while before I seen him perform. But when I seen him perform, it was almost like different. Like it was magical almost. Like I was already a believer, but when I seen him perform, I was like, oh yeah,
Life changing. No,
like he's like that. Yeah.
His stage presence is amazing. Just his control. I think him and like Shan have to be my like two favorite performers just to watch.
I never seen Shan perform.
She's amazing. She's really good.
When's the last time she performed?
I only seen her once. It was at this what's it called? Open mic at Slow Dive.
Okay.
Yeah, she just performed one song. She was dancing. Her choreography is amazing and everything. It was just like wow.
Even on like how Cole posted that video talking about just the different levels of shows, kind of the reason like their like idea behind that like bigger This Freak event. That shit makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we have that filling that gap from that whatever to like the 100, 200 people shows to the Norfolk. I don't know what the Norfolk holds. What that holds.
It could hold like a couple hundred. I'm not sure exactly though.
Yeah, but that whatever. I think Elevation. It was like I think he told me it was 600 people tops. But yeah, creating that market. You got to create the market, or at least create the like the need for it.
Yeah, someone has to do it because it's clearly not being done by anyone else, and it is important because I think it would just make Virginia Beach like there's no point why we're in the middle of the East Coast and we get like the least traction. Like most people just skip past Virginia, so it's like
so you got to come through here.
Yeah. So I think the community and people here have to bring people in and make people come, and then also attach local artists to also those opportunities as well. And it just makes the most sense because we're gonna wait for Pusha or Pharrell to do something when, you know what I'm saying? Like we can all do it ourselves. I feel like. Bro,
I say this shit all the time. It's like, honestly, I only think it's so much they could do.
Yeah, exactly.
If we don't have the product, what are they gonna sell?
Yeah.
If we literally don't build the product or whatever, the platforms, like they have nothing to push for us. We have to do it. So it's not like, I think people, I actually asked this question on the status before. People didn't really respond that much. I think one person gave like a thoughtful answer, but it's like, okay, for the people that always say, yo, I wish our bigger artists did more for the scene or whatever. It's like, okay, like tell me exactly what you want them to do. Cause I don't get it. Like I see them trying.
Mostly just like give me money and sign me.
Yeah, I guess
they can't just do that.
To me, it looks like they're trying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. But they're not gonna they're not gonna give us everything we need. Because that point is they don't know what is to be offered by us, and also they can definitely fill in the gaps for us. But we also got to create these opportunities ourselves. And you look at all the bigger cities and markets. I mean, there's also like a higher population of people in these places. Like when you go to Miami, New York, Chicago, LA, but it's really like the locals in those communities who really make it hella active, and that's why there's so many opportunities. Maybe not just financial, but if you just see everyone moving and buzzing, the whole city elevates because it's just constant. Like it's like the same thing. Like if you post on Instagram and you talk to a lot of people that push you up the algorithm, but you can do that in the city in the real life. If everyone's active and everyone's really outside putting in work, the whole city elevates. We might not be making any more money, but we're gonna have a lot more eyes and attention looking at us.
Even before the real money, like you said earlier, the freelance opportunities, stuff like that. I always say I've been thinking really a lot too, just how we can inspire the everyday person out here to want to be more involved in the arts, or at least consuming it. Like you don't have to be an artist, you don't have to create stuff, but it's like I think we're missing that really the everyday person being aware of the art that's being created in the backyard and like having feeling the need to support that or be a part of it or just consume it.
Yeah, I think that
how do we do that? Like
goes with like more stuff like what they did with This Freak, is that becomes more frequent. Cause like what we're missing is like I worked at Z104 in a radio station here.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So like they got the audience. Like there's people here that will pull up, like thousands of people. I seen them pack the amphitheater. You know what I'm saying? I've seen them pack hella venues, pulling in 1,000 people. There's people here. It's just like they're only paying. They're, common people. They're just paying attention to the radio.
The big name.
And you see, like, the community that we're involved with is by artists for artists. So we got to just branch out and actually be more in the city and be, more present and get that everyday people attention. I think it just comes from just being outside and just keeping doing shit, or just tapping into like the stations and shit like that.
Maybe trying different forms of advertising too, like put some shit in the fucking newspaper. Like, what if Disc Freak was? Because I think they pushed it probably on all social media, word of mouth. But what if they would have put it in the newspaper, flyers up?
You gotta do everything that
flyers,
something
like trying to reach people that are like not your normal demographic. Like trying just taking a risk, trying to reach a different audience. Maybe.
Yeah. I think the best thing to do, especially like if everything is like organic and like natural, like for example, Disc Freak is, just like marketing to kids. Because it's like if you get a kid to hear about it, then their parents have to hear about it. So you get 2 generations in one go. And I think like, I don't know, it's just, I think the best way to make money. Because it's like if you...
What age you mean by kids?
Like just high schoolers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The people that can actually go outside and do things. But
was that an 18-year-old event or was that a 21?
No, 21.
Okay.
But I've seen people do those events, and that's why, like, just from my experience as Z104, a lot of those events, the more bigger ones were more inclusive.
Yeah.
And make it more family friendly, so the whole family is involved. So that way you get everyone instead of just dropping kids off or just like
bring your mom, bring your dad.
Yep, bring everyone.
What'd you do as Z104?
I was just a graphic designer.
For real?
And I was like the interim manager a little bit before I quit.
Damn, that's hard. When was this? Like, what years was this?
2018, 19. Right before COVID. I quit 2 months before COVID hit.
Why'd you quit?
It was just messy and just not worth it. It's like it was making me really depressed. Like I love this graphic shit, but like that taught me you can love what you want to do and get a job at it, and then that job can make you hate it. And that kind of taught me that.
That's deep as fuck.
It's just like making shit that I didn't believe in and didn't see no point. Like I don't want to make content for like a pizza contest. I feel like that's pretty beneath me.
Or it's like not even...
Not beneath me, but it's just like I could be doing a lot better stuff.
It's like because you started out creating art, expressing a feeling you had. That feeling you won't think about a pizza spot.
Nope.
When you got that feeling, so it's like,
No, and then I think it was just annoying. It just kind of we got bought out by like radio.com, and there was a lot of stuff moving.
Z104 did?
Yeah. So, and I was like trying to really be the manager.
That's where Shaggy is, right? I've heard a bunch of people talk about, I don't even remember exactly but I've heard kind of negative things about Shaggy from a lot of people, I think.
It's easy.
I don't want to put like dirt on his name. I don't really know the man, but...
No, it's easy to get that side from him, I guess, from people if you don't really know him. But he's just... every standard Joe guy has a job, has a business, has a family, does what he needs to do to put food on his plate. Put food on the table for his family, and that was about his day. And good guy though. I think most people just talk shit because they actually don't know him, and if it's not what he needs to do for himself and his business, then it's like he's not gonna go out his way. I think that's why. Like he has a lot of opportunities and positions that where he could maybe do more. But he doesn't have to. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why people talk shit on him.
Yeah, I think people have different visions with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, me, I'm really kind of just... Me, personally, I see myself as just like a piece to the puzzle. Like, we're all just a piece. But it's like the puzzle is the 757.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like everything as a whole.
Yeah.
So I think when you kind of have that, just that vision of just a whole thing kind of just... seeing it bigger than yourself, I feel like you will a lot of times do more shit like for free or go out your way and kind of for the bigger cause, like just kind of just like separate yourself from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have this job as Z104. It was making you hate creating.
Yeah.
You said so you was a graphic designer. Yo, you're pretty hard with the graphics too.
That's I think my strongest suit.
Yeah. Is that what you're making money most from currently right now? The graphic designs?
Yeah, no. I kind of like stopped doing commissions because I hated it. I just hate designing for other people most of the time. So DJing was, but I haven't had any luck with gigs. Like I have like 2 months lined up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this much money. I'm cool. The city shut down. Then I get the gigs with the Veil. Then the manager quit, so I lost all of my gigs for the rest of the month. So it was
You
just
said
like
with the Veil?
Mhm.
Was that
brewery.
okay?
So mostly lately, over the past year, is DJing, and I'll do graphic work to fill in the gaps here and there. But I try to avoid it as much as possible, unless it's like a big job where it's like, okay, I'll do your graphics, because most people don't want to pay what I think is my rates are. You know what I'm saying? But we can substitute that because I'll also print your shirts for you. So it's like, okay, I won't get as much as I want for the graphic work, but I'll get even more for printing all these shirts and stuff like that. So I like pairing those two together. It makes it more worth it for me.
And I think so y'all studio is called UVIR. Studio. Does that what does that stand for?
Ultraviolet infrared.
I fuck with that. I
Yeah,
fuck
it
with
was,
that.
Brent and Dan started it, and I just been helping out for the past couple months.
Yeah. So how long has that been a thing? I was talking to Dan a little bit last night. He was telling me you guys were planning on getting like your own building.
So
like
it's
that.
been they started it during COVID, so it was around for 2 years. We just moved out of the studio we was just at like last week.
The one that I seen when I was out there. Yeah. Bro, y'all really inspired me when I seen that. Like,
For real?
cause I told you I'm trying to get a space. So just kind of seeing y'all. I was telling Dan this last night. Like seeing y'all just in there working, doing y'all thing. Like kind of just like it made sense to me, bro. Like yeah, this is our next step. Like
No, I think
somewhere where you can really just like exist in that shit like fully. Like that's what like this whole space is about. This. That's what you know what I'm saying. Like yeah.
it helps you focus. I like working from home a lot of times, but then I
More
think
than the studio.
no. Until when I got the studio, it was strange. I was like, I can literally just sit in this empty room, and I see all this equipment, and it'll just help me brainstorm a lot easier because I see a little bit better because I'm in the space I need to be in, or I can just rig something up real quick and just see how it looks. So having your space is very important. It helped me a lot. It's been a big blessing. I would have probably like moved out if it wasn't running into all them and just settling down there. And
So
stuff.
you don't have another job, right? I think you only.
I'm just do freelance work. I'm looking for a job. It's just no one's hiring.
Really. Really? What have you? Where you applied at? Just like random spots, like.
Just random spots.
Like they say, like a lot of people are hiring.
Just
Maybe I'm
not
tripping.
where I'm looking at. I'm also trying to get a design job.
Yeah.
Not really working out for me.
At a pizza spot?
Huh?
At a pizza spot? No, I'm playing.
I'll do whatever at this point.
I'm
I think
playing.
sometimes I
yeah.
battle like if I want to do commission work and just work on my stuff, but I'm in this phase where it's like I'd rather just have like going back to any job that's not creative, so that because I'm at this point where I really want to take the clothing stuff a lot more serious and is in a good spot to kind of like run and push it. So I just want all that creative juice in that one entity and just make my money elsewhere now. Because I feel like when I'm creating on too many things, it's like one battery level. So the more things I create, just lower it goes.
I get it. Or at least like maybe like think about like Elon Musk, like the different companies he runs. I think he just splits up his time in days. Like today on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm gonna focus on SpaceX and only SpaceX. Whatever, Thursdays and Fridays, I'm gonna focus on Tesla, whatever it is. Like, yeah, it's interesting. Like, you have a finite amount of energy in the day. You can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? But that's super interesting too. Just have you kind of, what else you kind of figured out about that balance between like doing stuff for money and keeping it like true to that feeling? Because I've been kind of thinking about that too, like how that affects like, or even just like success, like how reaching new levels of success will affect you from your like, because I feel like we all have a kind of like a baseline. Like for me, like where I create from, like this is like, okay, I got this feeling I'm kind of tapped into, and the outside world kind of does affect that a lot of times. Like, and I try to avoid that. I try to kind of stay in a bubble and keep that like separate from everything. But I already see that it affects it. So I'm thinking like, once you really start getting more known and more successful, like what that would really do for your process. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it could be detrimental if you don't kind of learn that balance. Like,
Yeah. I think when it comes to just like the job opportunity part, it's like I try that, but I think it's hard because no matter what I do is I'm still gonna sit behind my laptop. I think that's what's killing me. You know what I'm saying? I may be doing something different, but I'm getting drained behind this computer all day. And I think how I just manage, like, it's never really about money, because how I look at it is like every job that I got really good money off of, or any type of money off of doing any type of creative work, I don't have that money today. But I can look back and say I hated doing that, or I wish I didn't do that, or I don't like that project, or I really love this, or I'm really happy I was a part of that. Like those feelings are what will stick with me. So like I always prioritize, am I gonna love this process or love being a part of this? If it's a no, then I'm not gonna do it. If it's a yes, then that's when I kind of start considering, okay, do I actually have the time? Can I fit in the schedule? Is it gonna make any money? What is it for? Like what's the purpose behind it? And then stuff like that.
How far are you planning out, like schedule wise?
My clothing stuff, I'm like 2 years ahead, but like a year behind, if that makes sense. Like I have designs that if I wanted to stop designing, I could put something like 2 or 3 things out every month. But I'm behind because just now getting all the production ready and getting all the content ready is like setting it like every date I set for myself. I'm like behind that.
What's the rollout process like for even just like dropping a collection? Because I mean, for honestly, I guess the only really designer I'm tapped into is Kanye, like that. And I feel like when he drops, kind of just, I mean, he'll have events, fashion shows. Like, what else can you really do? Like, what's the most creative rollout you've ever seen in I guess in fashion? And what's yours like?
Most creative rollout. I mean, I think what attracts me is like definitely like having a curated event, having some sort of like show and performance of it. So like obviously fashion shows or art installations around them. Some really creative ones, just like pairing them with movies and stuff like that. That's always been my favorite. So
has there ever been a fashion designer, like, I'm about to cut you off, like, how there's like people do soundtracks? Has there been designers that do like a whole, all the fashion for movies and stuff?
Yeah, there's the one I know of, that Romeo and Juliet movie that Leonardo DiCaprio's in?
I want to say, I don't think I've seen it, but I think I like know what you're talking
that
about.
was designed by a clothing brand. I don't know exactly which one off the top of my head, but I know
Just
like
all everybody's clothes.
Everyone's piece was designer.
Is there a name for that? Like, like a soundtrack? Is there like a...
No, I don't know.
Okay,
But it's just probably just set stylist or whatever. And it went with the collection, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But that's what I want to do. So like, even though at the time I can look it up, if they actually did put out the collection that was in the movie, but like that would be like great promo and marketing.
Or like they sold it like just to, you can buy it. Yeah.
But what's been the best rollout in my opinion? I don't know, just having like a great event, some way to showcase it so people understand, like they can see it and understand it. That's what I'm working on. Like I've been taking my time. I feel like creating content, photos, like, like any video things, like everyone that I work with at Indigos, we did a good job at that. What I've been trying to do over the last year is like having people understand the messages and the purpose behind everything. So like making sure I have like thoughtful write-ups. So everything, like if you watch this video, you're like, what the hell is this really trying to say? We can read it now. You know what I'm saying? So,
what was the messaging like, kind of with the, I guess, the last drop y'all did?
So the last drop was this. So I guess like Start would be like the last full collection we worked on. That was a collab with me and Maddie. It was kind of speaking to us, like we're really talented. We're kind of just wasting our time. We're still in this like COVID funk, but let's like get the shit rolling. So we're gonna name it after Maddie. Her last name is Start. So let's get our shit and start. It was also like from my end, like she's like one of my favorite artists. So just having like little doubts here and there, and just like, you're mad talented. Like I took some of her art and I designed it for her, and I was like, you could do the same thing too. You know what I'm saying? So you can also like start designing and really putting your foot down, and because we always had these conversations, like everyone, like, you don't want to do certain jobs, you don't want to do certain things for money. It's like we have all the talent to like fund our lives. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like putting the mental and physical effort to actually do it. So just like anyone, whether you're doubting yourself or want to start a long process of finding what you want to do with your life, or starting a career or project that you're insecure about or worried about, just do it and don't worry. Just start.
Which is the hardest part a lot of times. Yeah.
So that was
easier after that.
Yeah, 100%. So that was like it. But it's like there's I wrote it down in my journal, and it sounds really good. But like now, like here, because it's not written down anywhere where I can remember word for word exactly everything that I wanted it to mean, like we wanted the collection to mean, it gets lost over time. You know what I'm saying? So going forward now, the collection I'm working on is called like 5DM3, and I have like 3 or 4 write-ups on it. Like even right now, like this logo means
Wait, so
this.
you're doing all the write-ups yourself?
No. I can't. I suck at writing. I have a friend named Carmen. She helps me, and a friend named Kayla.
Okay.
They help me a lot. Dan too. He'll like look over everything and help me make like tweaks and stuff like that. I'm 100% visuals. Anything with literature, I suck at.
Yeah.
So I think like tying it in, like making sure like people can understand your collection, because every business is in the fashion industry. Everyone has merch. Everyone has your uniform. You can go to the gas station and buy the gas station hat. You know what I'm saying? I see people wearing McDonald's t-shirts.
So you're saying like that merch design that is big part of like the visual you see like
everything. So what will separate a clothing brand from every other is like how thoughtful and how meaningful you're actually putting into your clothing. Because that's the only thing that separates.
I guess most brands don't really have a messaging. I mean, off top, I mean, just in the food, I think just Chick-fil-A. Like they're the ones that are like Christian, close on Sunday. I think most brands try to now, and maybe in this new world, they're trying to kind of be more politically correct, like and stuff like that, and be on a certain side. But I think it would be smart as a business to not be almost like you selling your product.
Yeah, but see, like it's Chick-fil-A can do that because they have a product to sell. But me as a clothing brand, like my product is clothing, but every other entity also provides clothing. You know what I'm saying? So what's gonna really make a clothing brand stick out and make you want to buy into that? Because anyone can just go to Walmart and buy any shirt off the rack. You know what I'm saying? So how are you gonna fill up? There's people who wear nothing but like off-white because people really bought into the meaning and what everything stands for, and their whole closet's full of everything off-white. So how do you get to that point? It comes with like the meaning and purpose behind everything.
What do you think about like the price points of your clothing? Like, do you like the idea of rare stuff more that not everybody has, or would you rather have like everybody be accessible to it? Like see everybody in your clothes.
I want to see everyone. But there are pieces where I want to be rare because I look at everything as an artist. So if I have this beautiful painting, if it's a one-on-one, it's rare. It's literally a one-on-one. But if I have two, it literally drops in value just by having two. You know what I'm saying? No matter if it's the same thing, made on the same materials. If it's just one, I can charge $1,000 for it. If there's two, I can only charge $500 for both. You know what I'm saying? That's how the art world works.
If you have one painting, you like cut it in half in a cool way, and it's like now it's like two halves, but it's to one.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's loopholes around it and stuff like that. So, but when I think of like the pieces that I really, really care about, like this is not just a shirt. I'm graphic. Like this is just branded stuff. This would be a lower price point. Then I have stuff that's actually the stuff that I drew that has ties directly into the meaning of the collection. Those are like the more art piece, or those are the stuff that I'm actually like cutting and sewing myself. So those would be like the more rare, higher price point stuff, because I want people to have it and wear it, or essentially what I really want is people to start framing my clothes. Like that would be a huge
put on their
goal.
wall?
Yeah. I'm gonna even start like some of the pieces that are like, this is like art to me, even though it's wearable. It won't be sold in a bag or a box. It'll be sold in a
frame.
In a frame.
That's fire. I seen somebody who I just seen. Derek Jeter. He was just on Drink Champs. I think packaging is pretty cool too. Like different packaging, like that stands out. I want to say he gave Norris. He has a new line of like fitwear, some type of for athletes and stuff. But like the box he gave it to him just looked crazy. It was like this white, like big, like looking box. Like I don't know. If you think about like packaging and stuff like that.
So I have boxes. That's been my favorite part. So like the packaging has always been something that I really gravitated to, because growing up, I bought like the first time I bought Supreme, they gave me like a dope ass like bag with the Supreme logo on it. They gave me stickers. So I was like, I still have all that stuff. I don't have the Supreme shirt. So again, like the stuff that I hold on to is like what has influenced and inspired me to what I pinpoint and try to focus on today. And I just think it's another like set of world building. You know, if I give you a shirt and I just give you a regular bag just walking out, you throw that bag in the trash and you wear the shirt and it's in your closet, but people can only see your shirt if you're not wearing it. No one's gonna see it because it's in your closet or it's in a pile somewhere. But if I give you this beautiful box like Jeter did, I see people put my boxes up as like souvenirs and stuff like that. So the shirt's in your closet, it's not doing nothing for me, because like, you know, if you wear it, someone can ask you about it. But if someone just comes over and they see that box, like, there's another conversational piece of getting my name and awareness out there.
I fuck with it. You say you're a heavy journal writer?
Just when I'm creating, because
Okay.
I'll forget
like for
everything and
ideas
just
and
it's easier and stuff like that. I want to start writing in my journal.
Bro, I always heard that like write stuff down is like I don't really write shit down.
For real?
I usually just write my schedule down,
I think that's
but
good.
everything else, I don't know. I
You
guess I'm just going through it in real time.
do you feel like you're a forgetful person or you're on top of everything?
It depends. Like certain stuff, like if somebody owes me money, I'm never gonna forget it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
As you should.
Certain stuff, I forget people's names a lot. It takes me like a lot of times.
I suck at
I gotta meet you like
remembering
probably like 3-4 times to actually remember your name.
or have like a long ass conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel super bad about it too.
I was actually telling I was talking to Sonny and Raisa last night. Yeah, for me it's like I be thinking about so much stuff that I kind of have like I schedule when I'm gonna think about something, or like or I'll try to. That's part of me like writing my schedule down because I don't want to. It's just the less stuff you have to think about. And also I feel like when you write stuff down, it kind of puts it in stone. Like a lot of times, like my ideas to be more like just fluid. Like it'll kind of change in real time or grow or like I don't know.
But that's the reason why I write it down. Because like if I have this thought, especially for anything I'm creating, I like to write it down, and then like a week I'll write something else. A month later, after filling up a page, I look and like I'll see like the similarities and everything, and that's how I can really refine everything or just tie everything together or make something very deep, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And have like many layers because it's like, well, how can I put all these thoughts and feelings into one thing? But I think I would like to start incorporating like specific times just to think about certain things because I feel like everything just rushes to my mind.
For me, that's
24/7.
for me, like I've been really focusing on my mind for the last few years and trying to like. It really started out when I kind of learned what my work ethic was, and that happened when I started my job. Like when I became an electrician after high school, I realized that I had a different work ethic than other people, and I like learned how to tap into it because I used to be like real. Say what?
What is it?
What do you mean?
Your work ethic, like what?
No, I'm just saying like I have a hard work ethic.
Okay, yeah.
Type shit, and but it's like before that, like in high school and coming up, I was just kind of like procrastinator, lazy. Like it was hard to kind of get motivated a lot of times. But then like when I started working like that, it just really taught me how to it taught me about work ethic, and it taught me how to like what happened. Damn, excuse me. It taught me how I can lock in on a moment. I didn't have that before. I was kind of all over the place. But when I started working, I learned that new zone of like just forgetting about the world and like this is the only thing that exists and just doing that. Like that's where I learned that. And then even now, like it's just like with thinking about stuff at certain times, that's just part of it. Like use like figuring out how to like not hack your mind, but like figuring out how your mind works and how to use it to the best ways. Like I think it's super key. Like we always think about the exterior world. But if you can figure out how to maneuver the exterior world, you're kind of like in control. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think kind of when things really slow down and you move at the world's speed instead of like this rush that life kind of puts us in, I think it's very important. But did you love your job? Is that what helped you like focus and really worked hard, or was it just like fact like I got a
I did like
real
it.
job? Okay,
I liked it. I still do electric on like as a side hustle. But I liked it. It was cool, and like for me also it kind of. Like I said, I just like feel like different stuff. Everything I do, I kind of learn something about myself with it. So even that kind of showed me how my mind worked as far as like I was doing residential electricity. So it's like houses. So it's like you have all these different circuits, different stuff going on in a house. And then it's like it's all pieces to it. And then but it all like works together in a way. It all comes together in a panel or whatever for it to like work together. So that kind of just taught me how to do that in my brain for like any idea.
okay,
There's different levels to all this idea, and they taught me how to think about all those levels at once and how they work together, and like you know what I mean, like for the end goal, and to see the end result, to work at every step of it, and be aware of the whole. You know what I'm saying? Like just different shit like that. I don't even know. That might even sound weird. Like,
that's fine.
but I did love it, and it was cool. Like I always thought, like I had a friend that was an electrician too, so like we were always like hyping each other up. Yeah, I learned this today. I learned this today. Like it's funny. I learned a lot of stuff in that job, bro. I also learned that people will try to keep you down.
Sure.
Like coming up in construction, I think it's like that probably in a lot of fields. Like
Everywhere, everyone's territorial.
people don't want you to learn
jealous.
everything.
Yeah,
It's better. Like if I hire you for whatever $10, $15 an hour for a certain level of skill you have right now, if you learn more and get better, I got to pay you more.
I would think of it. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like and then for certain companies that I mean, it probably it works out if you have a company that depends on what you're doing. You want to have great people, so you're going to have to pay them good. But for certain companies, like where they're not trying to expand or they want to just keep things how it is, it doesn't really behoove them to pay you more. I think that's the first time I ever said it behoove. That just sounded kind of weird. But
came out smooth.
Hey, yo, it came out smooth. But yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
What type of electrician? I have a telecommunication certification.
What's that?
So that's like TVs, solar panel, Wi-Fi,
Okay.
just doing all the wiring for that stuff.
So me, it was a residential electrician. So just like residential's homes,
Okay.
like
okay.
houses, neighborhood, like stuff like that.
Nice.
So I actually wired this whole house that we
real?
did right here. Yeah,
Crazy.
wired this house. I wired the studio. The studio actually has like an official panel right there. It's like the electric in here is professional, but everything else are kind of just winged.
Hey man,
Yeah.
it serves its purpose.
Yeah, so okay, so you coming up, you worked at Z104, which I didn't know. Also, they touched on you said earlier, I was pretty interested. You said world building.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? And also, it's kind of like that reminds me of like Apple. Again, I'm talking about Apple again, but it's like how they have all these different products, and it's like you get into this world of like Apple. You're like you only need like you can have something for like different products and stuff like that. What do you mean by world building?
I think it just comes to like growing up and just seeing like what all has like really like drew me to certain like brands growing up. So like going back to the Supreme stuff, getting a Supreme shirt. I'm just thinking I'm just gonna get a shirt in a regular package, but it came in a Supreme bag with stickers. So it's just like that world building is just like if you buy one shirt from me, you're gonna get a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you may not understand the whole aesthetic visually, conceptually if you just get a tee. You know what I'm saying? So it comes with the packaging, just how you present everything. That's like the world that people can sit in to fully understand everything. Because it's like the shirt I'm wearing right now.
That's Indigo too?
Yeah, so this one kind of describes the collection that's coming out, but no other shirt will give you that information. You know what I'm saying? But if you buy any other shirt, the box will have the information on it. So you're not missing out on anything. You know what I'm saying? And then again, when you see the box, the bag it comes in, all the stickers, all the little trinkets, the notes and all that stuff, it makes, I think as a customer, you more appreciative. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you can fill up your space with a lot more stuff than the shirt that just hangs in your closet.
Yeah, we got our first merch out right now. Like you touched on earlier, like all companies have their uniforms, their merch. I think I'm not, like I said, I think I said this on the last episode. Like, I'm not trying to be a fashion designer. I know there's levels to it. Even like on DJing, like, is there like, I'm sure there's a lot of like, not tension, but like in the DJ community, like for somebody that just starts out, like, oh yeah, you can't just start spinning like now you're a DJ. Like,
No, I think especially out here, it's very supportive. Like, there's been times where someone is like, I've seen this multiple times. Someone's like wants to learn and tap into, to where niggas would just be like, you can shadow me. And then at a low point, you can hop on for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? There are different types of DJs, though. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has like their niche or what they do. I think the basis, as long as you just have great music selection and can read your crowd, that's all that's really required. But then, like, I think it does add another level of artistry if you know how to mix music. You're not just going from song to song, and if you can scratch and all that stuff.
I thought that was the coolest aspect. Like of the DJs I've seen, like the stuff that always like that's like memorable is like when they mix different songs. They make like their own version of some shit that you never heard before.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. That's what I personally try to do. My whole goal when I'm DJing is for the start to finish, play 2 songs. So the whole time, at least 2 songs are playing. And
wait, what do you mean?
like every second,
there's
there's always a mix of 2 songs. And for the audience to feel like they've been listening to one song the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell when another song is coming in and out. You can if you obviously know the words, you know the melodies and all that stuff, but it doesn't like hit you. Because I feel like that also adds to the that sonic orgasm. You know what I'm saying? When the stuff just kind of sneaks up and like comes from behind and out of nowhere, versus just we're playing this one song, hard switch. Now we're playing this another song. It's not.
What is there like a formula to like just a tempos of the night? Like what part of the night to play faster, slower stuff?
So
like how's that
like
work?
if you're DJing like a nightclub or something from like 10 to 2, for the first 2 hours you're probably just playing like hip hop, pop, anything that's people would know. You get like everyone kind of cohesive, dancing or talking, singing along. And then from 12 or like 11:30 to like 1 or 12:30, you're playing like mostly dance. You're getting people moving, and then you're kind of like slowing it down. So like people either get really sexy, so it's like everyone wants to go home, you know what I'm saying, set the vibe, or they start playing like songs, like sing along songs for everyone, and also bring down the BPM, so that by time last call is hit, like the bar's not saying last call, but everyone's still moshing because niggas not gonna leave for the next 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? By last call, you low key want the event to be over. You know what I'm saying?
That boy Cole had me weak last night. He was I was standing with him over there. He was like on the computer in the little back, like over there. You know where he was at, standing. He literally ran out from back there. Went like I want to say who's performing. I want to say Trees was performing. I forgot. No, I think it was Kids That Play. He literally ran from the back. Went up because there's people like dancing right there, like just jumping around, and he started a mosh pit and came right back. I said, "Bro, did you literally just go over there and start a mosh pit and then come back?" He said, "Yeah." I was like, "What the fuck?" That was random as shit. I ain't never seen nobody do that.
I wish I saw that.
Yeah, I was like, "What?" Oh yeah, fuck with it. I fuck with your projector too.
Thank you.
That shit's pretty cool.
So that's been another thing I've been trying to learn and get into for the past.
Yeah.
Wow. I mostly got into it because most of my art is digital, and I feel like people kind of don't respect digital art as much. And this was like before NFTs really popped
compared to
out.
what, physical art?
Yeah. So like if I graphic design a canvas and then I put it next to someone that hand painted it, there is like a different appreciation, and especially price point wise. So I got into projection to kind of like curve that a bit. So it's like, yeah, it's still digital. You know what I'm saying? It's a little, people think it's easier or cheaper, whatever the case may be. But like now I'm like making it like move and interacting and all this stuff. So it's just like
you changing like the physical world with it.
So it's just like adding the extra level of artistry on top of it to make people really appreciate it.
Bro, imagine what artists are gonna do with shit when like AR really becomes a thing, or like artificial. No, AI. I said, what am I saying? Yeah, AR, artificial reality. You hip to that?
Yeah.
Like when we're all gonna be maybe wearing glasses where you can see the real world, but then you can put shit in there like hologram, different shit. Like, yeah, you could, like artists will just create whole worlds. That's gonna be on some real world building shit where you go to their app and it just affect. You know what I'm saying? You in that world. That's just gonna be fire to me. Like
it'd be tough. It was like you have these glasses and it can kind of like change how everything's kind of looking based on your favorite artist. So if your favorite artist is like Cause, everything that you see kind of like an IG filter have like the Cause aesthetic on it.
Filters on real life. Yo,
that'd be tough.
These IG models gonna love that. Oh yeah, I look like this now. I look like this all the time now. Come on,
fucking the game up.
Yo, honestly, like it's coming. You been tapping into that at all?
What?
Like, are you into that? Like tech and shit like that?
Not really.
Bro.
I mean, I love it, but my head's literally been tunnel vision just on clothing for a while, so I haven't really been paying too much to the outside world, outside of fashion. But I love tech.
Artists is pretty much what drive that shit. Like that shit too. Like cool sets comes out, artists do cool shit with it. That makes the people want to use it.
Just
looking for that. It's like different. What's it called? Mediums. It's like new mediums.
I wrote a paper in college, my first year, about how the porn industry is actually the one that innovates technology. They literally get
fund it all.
They get their hands on everything.
Yeah.
Before every other like.
Motherfuckers been fucking robots since 1996. Like, bro, we been had that.
They had VRs first.
Also, I think space exploration created a lot of like NASA and them it created a lot of technology too that we use. I can't name any of it right now off top, but I think that's
makes sense. The internet was pretty much created for porn.
Yeah. Porn is like it's crazy. I literally seen a girl. There's legit porn on Instagram now.
For real?
is getting there. Pretty much.
Oh,
they're not fucking. But I seen a
well-
girl, bro. She's like bent over and shit. Like, you see pussy. Like, you see pussy. I'm like, bro, am I on? Like, this is Pornhub.
For real? I've seen
Pornhub
what people can have private content now. You can subscribe for people. Is that what it's on? Or
No, this is on my Explore page.
Oh, so they're not censoring stuff no more.
Bro, and hell, not for real. Not for real.
Tough.
He said tough. I fuck with it, man. Appreciate you helping out for the cookout too.
That was a good time.
That was cool to me.
Meeting more shit, especially out here. I've been meeting more people out on this
Bro,
side.
there's a
of the
show
bridge.
tonight. I actually was gonna go. I didn't know it was today. You know what I'm saying? But you know Full Metal?
Yeah.
He's throwing a show tonight.
For real?
Yeah.
Nice.
What's it called? Matter of fact, Shan's performing.
For
I
real?
want to say. We were talking about Shan earlier.
Mhm.
I think it's him, Shan, Shaolin, some other people too.
That's good. That's lineup.
Yeah, but like I've been talking about this too. Just I think we're gonna try to do something like that next year.
Mm-hmm.
Some type of recurring event. You know what I'm saying? In Newport News, I've been saying like we better start making y'all spend y'all gas money and come on this side of the water.
You need to.
You know what I'm saying? Like we've been spending a lot of gas money coming over there. But some type of shit. I really like the idea, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I might even say the idea. So it's like you know Kill Tony.
Nah, maybe not the top of my head.
It's a show. It's a comedy show.
Nope.
In I think they do it in Austin, Texas. They do travel episodes too, but based out of Texas. I think they've been doing it for like 10 years. But the whole like concept of the show is there's a panel on stage. It's a live show. They sell tickets. It's a panel on stage. It's like really two hosts, but they have also guest hosts a lot of times too. And they have a hat. They draw out names out of a hat. Any comedian can put their name in the hat. People come from all over the world, and you never know who's gonna get picked. It could be somebody that it could range for somebody it's their first night doing comedy or a professional. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what to expect, and everybody comes up and does like a 1 minute uninterrupted set, and then they do like a mini interview with them on stage after that for a few minutes, whatever. Sometimes, a lot of times, the interviews are like the funniest part. You know what I mean?
I was like, how could you
that's the
have like
gold
a
right
full
there.
comedic set in a minute? I feel like that's not enough time.
I mean, yeah. What you mean? You got to be funny every minute. You just get a 1 minute set.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to have. What do you mean? Comedy set is just probably usually 60 minutes of solid shit. So let's see your first minute.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Give us your best one.
Yeah, but it's like it's hard. That's hard to do too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think up and coming comics usually like when you're coming up, it's if you have a 10-minute set, that's great.
For real?
Like you know what I'm saying? Like yeah, it's hard to get like a solid. You know what I'm saying?
Never knew.
But yeah, so they do like a 1 minute set. You think it does sound like a little bit, but it's enough.
Yeah.
It's enough to know if you're hard or if you're whack. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need to know.
The
Like,
only thing I'm
see
used
that in a
to is
minute.
like Netflix specials and stuff like that, and they're always like an hour long or something.
Yeah,
like
this
that.
is a condensed version for the live show so more people can get on. And if somebody's trash, the crowd's not gonna want to watch that for really that long. But it's like so that type of shit for music. We trying to think of a cool way to do that, like with music, have a crowd and like interaction. And I think that's gonna do like a lot of the shit that we're trying to do as far as just also create platforms, opportunities for people, but also just the key thing we're gonna focus on this is doing what we talked about earlier is inspiring the regular people to come to these types of things. You know what I'm saying? Usually like people that aren't usually, in touch with what's going on as far as our scene in our area, kind of find a way to reach them. And
I think what we were trying to do earlier with the show at Slow Dive would be a great concept because I think it was like, what's the best way to obviously, especially for the musicians, like
you talking about earlier this year?
Yeah. We're offering the musicians to be able to perform, so you get to check out their music, and also like a live panel with everyone that performed, so the audience can get to know them, and then start tapping in different places in Virginia Beach. Because I think like it's awesome having these that we had these safe places like Thank You and Slow Dive and like Elevation, but if we just are doing stuff at 3-4 spots,
We need more spots.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we're not gonna hit no new people. We're not gonna actually grow the audience out here. So just finding ways to actually, like,
Bro, if you look at an average city, one of these cities out here, every night there's probably at least 15 bars packed. So it's like, really, if you're trying to reach a bigger group of people, you need more space. We don't have those couple spots don't have that space. So yeah, like,
but they all got different people. So you just gotta make sure, like, over time, you're just hitting certain areas.
Oh yeah, for sure. What's your experience with like working with venues? My boy that was on here, Ant Perez, he's a comedian. He kind of put me on with this. Like most people out here pay like to like rent out a venue, but he throws a weekly, I think it's monthly actually, like open mic for comedy, and he found a spot that pays him to do it. It's like a brewery, and it's like he went to them and was like, "What's your slowest night of the week? Like, and how much you willing to pay to pack this spot out or like bring people here that night?" And that's how he's moving. That makes sense to me too.
That makes a lot of sense.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think more venues should start doing stuff like that, or people can just start trying that. Because before he told me, I wasn't thinking about that. I would never thought to ask a venue to pay me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So if you have your shit and you can propose it properly, I think you can easily get opportunities like that. Especially if the venue has like stuff to offer. Like if they know they can make, like that's kind of also how Charlie does it. You know what I'm saying? Like most of the events is like they make their money off the drinks and stuff. So as long as you can bring in a good crowd, they'll happily just take the drink money and you get all the doors or whatever else you sell on top of that and stuff like that. Yeah. I think that's how it should be because it's like, and this may be a little off topic, but like how I kind of approach things and like, cause I do like a lot of stuff just out of love or just support for people. And it's not the fact that I don't want to get paid or it's like, oh, y'all don't have to. It's like, for example, like if you want me to design for you, why would I charge you up front for the design? Whereas like we can just sell it and make the money. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like if venues operate like that as well, like I'm not going to hit you up front because if you pay me $600 to rent this venue today, that's $600 out of the budget that could have gone to the show. That could have got another 100 people in.
Bigger turnout. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think we all just think like that and just like try to help and do what we can do, but just make sure the back end plan is sound so everyone can get their bread or we know like we're going to get these certain goals. I think like that'll make the best sense for a lot of things.
Yeah, I think it's just like a switch in the mindset. You know what I'm saying? I think it's happening.
Yeah.
Like I think I've been creating out here for a few years, and I can actually notice a difference. And the differences I notice is the main one is the connection between the artists. Yeah, the people who are actually doing stuff out here realize the importance of supporting each other now and do that. Yeah, and it's like so that's key. I think that's big. And then also there's just we have people we have more people with like actual skill now. Not like even aside from the artists, but just the business owners and the people behind the scenes and designers and shit like that. Like we have actually like I think we can compete now. Yeah. Now it's about how we can package that kind of to the world a little bit in a cool way. Like back to what you said, like on uniforms and shit, we gotta have that thing that maybe about something about Virginia that sticks. Yeah, I think it's one piece of over. So now it's just Virginia's in people's minds. Then we can, you know what I'm saying, infiltrate them with the, not even infiltrate, I feel like it's a negative word, but feed them the rest of the stuff. Like
I think it's just like making sure we push everything out of Virginia. Like one thing that I want to start doing is like everything that I post, I should be putting money behind it to send it to New York, Cali, overseas, so people can see what's going on in here. Oh, like that? Yeah, it doesn't
boost it and shit.
Yeah, so like just doing stuff in the community does that, but like every artist kind of like is already at the surface. I feel like in Virginia, at least what it can be offered right now at this present moment in state that the state is in. You know what I'm saying? So the best thing for us to do is to keep doing what we're doing, but it's making sure like everything, content, videos, pictures is just being sent out everywhere so that people can start seeing. And then over time, I think that'll just happen naturally. But if we're not pushing any content or pushing people out to start bridging the gap and networking outside of Virginia often to actually have like a steady stream of back and forth, then I think like a lot of effort kind of goes wasted because it's like everyone's still missing a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely agree. That might be a far spot to leave them at, bro. True. We like a little over an hour in. I've been saying that too.
Fast. Huh? That was fast.
That was fast? You know, they say time flies when you're having fun. No, I'm playing. But I've been saying that. I should be saying this. That might be personal. Like working with people out the area. We're trying to do that too. Boosting shit. Like really, we've been focusing on reels. Like, you know what I'm saying? With the reels, we're really trying to reach new viewers from outside the area. And just tap in, like with the scenes. Just so we have a scene here, tap into these other scenes in different states that are the same level. And I think that's key. Like you said, like that's hard. Anything else you want to touch on?
Nothing. I think I don't really got much to say most of the time.
Yeah. Do you want to announce any drops or with with Indigo or anything?
I don't have a date. I'm editing all the content right now. We're starting to.
Or is anything announced right now?
Nothing for real. I'll be dropping before the year ends, so just be on the lookout.
And can you tell me one more time, what does it stand for?
What?
UVIR, actually.
Ultraviolet infrared. So
Okay,
yeah,
I'll do that.
hopefully soon we have some updates on the spot or know exactly how long the timetable is till we get our new studio. Looking to a few spots a lot bigger, so we can also offer a lot more than just a photo studio. But just a little time going through all like looking through properties, and then I'm just working on the content for the clothing and stuff like that. So hopefully going forward, I'll be dropping a lot more consistently, because I feel like I set a lot of stuff up and stuff. And in a few stores in the area.
Hey, I'm excited to see it, bro.
Thank you.
You already know. Hell yeah. All bros links will be in the description, man.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all tap in. Stay in touch with UVR Studios.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have some cool services coming up. Maybe we're gonna have a space soon too. Hopefully,
Yeah,
we're gonna see. But yeah, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. And like I always say, fuck with the artists from the 757. And we're gonna see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace out.